everyone, this is Jennifer Stay from Coloring Pages Bliss, and I have brought you this beautiful discovery that I have built, and I want to teach you how to make my new color pencil tree stand. I also have some gel pens stuck into it. It will also hold other shaped tools like markers and scissors. I've also put coloring pencil sharpeners into these holes, and there's room to even make more holes to hold even more tools. I've only filled up the front so I could slide it up against a wall here. Let me put it on its back so you can see it also from the other angle. Now I'm going to tear this thing apart and show you what's inside of it and show you how to make it. Believe it or not, you can make this whole thing for about $3. This is a pool noodle from the dollar store, and what's inside comes from Ikea. So let's take this apart and I will show you what you need to pick up from Ikea. Okay, there you have it. This is a paper towel stand that I picked up at Ikea for $1.99. Pretty cool, huh? So this little paper towel stand, it was the perfect shape and size to hold my color pencil tree. So let me show you how to make it. I have a brand new pool noodle here that I picked up from my dollar store to use, and I'll show you how we put it together. All you're going to need is the pool noodle and some hot glue. I also have some leftover ribbon from Christmas just to make it kind of cute, and you're going to want an X-Acto knife. You can also use scissors, but for pool noodle cutting I prefer to use an X-Acto knife. It does a nice neat job of cutting the pool noodle foam. All right, so let's start by the first cut we need is to cut the noodle for this center section. So what I do is cut it just a little bit taller. That way there's a little space on the top where you can tuck in a pencil sharpener or some other tool. So I'm going to just look here and say maybe right here's a good spot. And you can use a Sharpie marker. If you have one that's close to the same color as the noodle, that's a good way to do it. But you can always just carve off the little bit of black of the marker if you want to. So I'm going to say right about there is a good spot to cut it. Careful not to cut yourself. There we go. Now, like I said, if you don't like that black mark, which I don't really care about, you can easily carve it off with your X-Acto knife, or just use your scissors. It comes off really easy with the scissors too. Okay, now this may be the most difficult part of this entire process, is getting this pool noodle to go over this wide section here. But it's really great that it's snug, because that means everything else that we're going to glue and attach onto it is going to hold on really tight so that this isn't going to tip over once we're done. Okay, get it all the way to the bottom. All right, there we have it all the way to the bottom. And there's a little bit of extra space like we talked about at the top. So if you want to tuck in something, you can. And it hides the silver, which is nice as well. Okay, now as far as the shape and the design of your tree, it's up to you. You can create any kind of tiered shape. We can have it like I did before, where we had different levels. You can have them all on the same level. It's really up to you what you want to design here. Kind of fun. But I think I'll do something similar to what I did before. So the next noodle length I need is just a little bit taller than this piece here. So we're going to grab my noodle again here and measure, and grab my Sharpie and measure just a little taller, about there, and cut another piece. Okay, now we're going to slide this piece onto this part of the paper towel holder. this goes on really easy. And it'll actually wiggle a little bit, which we don't want. So we're going to use our hot glue for the first time. Now we are using hot glue onto the foam, and when the hot glue touches this foam, it's sort of going to start to melt and do some odd things. So you want to be really careful where the tip of your hot glue gun touches, where the hot glue touches, all of that you want to be careful of, because it's going to do some interesting effects to this foam. So I'm going to put a tiny bit of hot glue somewhere in here, and then push it together and hold it and keep it there nice and tight so we don't have any of that hot glue going anywhere we don't want it to be. Pardon my messy glue gun. It gets very used by my boys and me in a lot of different ways, so it's a well-loved glue gun. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Nice blob right there. See, it starts to melt into it, and push it together, and I'm just going to hold it and count to maybe 30. 1, 2, 3, okay, and that will hold it steady there. All right, now we get to start building around on it. And when I was designing my first one, I kind of wanted to cover all of this silver base. Hey, my glue isn't sticking. Rude. Let's hold it for another 20 seconds. 1, 2, 3. That's better. Okay, we'll have to keep an eye on that and make sure it stays. As you build up more and there's more things glued to it, it holds together better. Okay, so we still have quite a bit, probably about a yard left of our pool noodle to continue building on to our color pencil tree here. So I think I'd like 2 pieces over here, probably about the same height. So let's go maybe up about that high, which I'm using my ruler this time, and say maybe 5 inches up. That seems about right. We need 2 of those. 1, 2. Okay, then I usually look for the neatest end that I cut, and that would be the top side. That looks about right. And those will get glued in right like that. So this time I'm going to put extra glue along the edge, a whole row of glue, and quickly push it up against the side. Here we go. It starts to melt down into that foam really fast. And there we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, make sure that's good. And it's still a little bit stringy there, you can see. So I'm going to keep holding that while we put some glue on this side too. Careful. Push it together. 1, 2. I'm going to hold it for a little bit longer here. Make sure we get a good seal, and I'm pushing it together with some pretty good firm pressure. Okay, let's move to the other side and repeat. 1, 2. Okay, it's looking really good. And you can see the black marker here, so if it does bother you, just cut that right off. It's not bugging me. This one's kind of bugging me. I might cut that one off. Just like that. Okay. Now we've got more room back here. We can add more if we want to. Let's see if we cut this in half. Got almost exactly a foot here. In half would be about there. Or we could put it up front in little pieces like that. That could be cool. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. I'm gonna cut same size here, about 5.5 inches, and do something a little different on the front and kind of leave the back plain, because I liked how I designed the other one where it had nothing on the back, so you could push it up against a wall or the back of a cupboard. Of course, you can design yours any way you want. Like a sculpture. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to cut it in half this way. Careful not to cut your fingers. Okay. And you get these two pieces like this. And we can glue them on like that. Get a different look. Just like that. So this, the glue, I usually hold it up against the piece I'm going to glue it onto and see where it touches. It's actually touching along the inside edge. That. Okay, I like how that looks because it sort of takes away from the actual pool noodle look and gives it more sculptural type feel. And we can do the same thing now out on this edge if we'd like to, which I think would be neat. So maybe if we cut it in half this way, and this will use up the last of the pool noodle. Okay, so here is my pool noodle sculpture on the paper towel holder base. And now we're going to add a little bit of ribbon. Just thought I'd give you a look at it before I added the ribbon. Here's what it looks like on the bottom. And the ribbon, of course, is totally optional, but I think it adds and makes it look pretty. Like I said, this is ribbon I had left over from Christmas. The dollar store always, at least my local dollar store, always has some fun ribbon for summer and spring. So you could pick some up that they have while you're picking out your pool noodle. And this kind that I have here is just some wire edged ribbon, but it doesn't matter whether it's wire edged or not. Wire edged is fun because it holds the bow really good. And I pulled off, let's see how much I grabbed here. Looks like about 1.5 yards of ribbon. And tie a simple bow. Okay, you can even tack this down with a little bit of glue if you want to make sure it doesn't slip and slide on your color pencil stand here. Okay, now comes the part where you get to decide where the pencils are going to go on your stand. On mine, I had them coming out in all different kinds of directions and lots of fun different ways. So I don't think there's really a wrong way to do it. It's more like we want to plan which directions they go so they don't cross each other and get in each other's way as you're pulling the pencils out. Now, we experimented lots of different ways of making the holes. We tried just shoving the pencils in, and you can make a good hole doing it that way. Let me show you on this piece of foam from the original tree. When you just shove the pencil in, it creates a really big hole and it kind of stretches out the foam, and I found that after a while of bringing the pencil in and out that kind of hole actually wore out the foam pretty quickly. The best hole we found for this kind of project with the foam is to use your X-Acto knife to create an X, and you can actually put the X-Acto knife in at an angle to help direct the pencil whichever direction you want it to go. And then if you just feel along the foam, you can feel exactly where that hole is, and then the pencil goes in really easy right at that X. That seems to be the best way to do it, and the hole sort of closes up on itself and lasts a little bit longer. Now, as soon as you put something bigger in that hole, like a Sharpie or a gel pen, it is going to stretch that hole out bigger. So if you want to have this tree be sort of a mixed media tree, then I would have some holes designated for gel pens or markers and other holes designated specifically for color pencils. This tree today, I'm going to make just specifically 4 color pencils for this set of Marco Rifine pencils. That's my plan. So I've got 72 pencils and they all need a place on this tree. So I'm going to start here with this front 2 columns right here. And I want the pencils to go in at an angle like this, not straight in. So when I put the holes in with my X-Acto knife, I don't want to go straight in with the knife. I want to go in at an angle to create the perfect holes. And I think I'm going to have a row of holes here and then maybe a row of holes here. And you want them about an inch apart. That seems about right. So I'm going to start down here about where the bow is and go up from there. If you want a little help guiding you to keep your rows nice and straight, you can lay down a ruler just like this, and then just keep all your lines, your cuts, all in line like that, or you can just freehand it. It's up to you. You can also use that ruler to help you space the holes out just right. So I would look ahead and say I want a hole right here. So that would mean if I'm going to put a hole at every inch mark, then I can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 holes on one row right here. So let's go for it and see how it goes. So remember, don't put your knife in straight down. We're going to put the knife in at an angle. Here we go. In and create that X. Okay, there's our first row. Now we can kind of feel where that row is and lay this down, rotate it to the side and go again. Remember, hold it at an angle. Okay, let's repeat that same process over here on this pillar. Okay, let's see how these two pillars look when we fill it up with pencils. Now, when I do the final fill up of this stand, I will probably organize the stand in such a way that all the color families are sort of together. Right now I'm going to just throw a whole bunch of pencils in, but just so you know, in the future this stand will be organized in a really nice way so it's easy to find the pencils that I need. Use your finger to find those holes. Another great thing about pre-cutting the holes for the pencils is you don't have to worry about the tips of your pencils. They don't get broken at all. And storing them in the foam like this will protect the tips of your pencils. Okay, there's the first pillar. Let's fill up this pillar. Okay. Ooh, it's looking good. Okay. So I'm going to hit fast forward, keep cutting a whole bunch of slots, and keep filling up my tree until all my pencils are in this tree. Okay, there we have it. A color pencil tree made from a pool noodle that we picked up at a dollar store and a paper towel holder that we picked up at Ikea for $1.99. That's $3 for a pencil holder. That is a piece of art that you get to design and build any way you want, and you get to use it and organize it any way you want. You can use it for gel pens, color pencils, pretty much anything you want. Isn't that amazing? It's very sturdy. You can stick it anywhere you want in your art room, next to your sofa, anywhere you want, and it looks really cool and fun. It would be a really fun gift because it's totally handmade and unique to the person you give it to. I hope you had fun watching this. If you like this, please give it a thumbs up, and if you make one, please comment below. I'd love to hear how it turned out. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on my next videos. I have lots more fun ideas for you, lots of tutorials and reviews. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful, colorful, and organized day. Bye-bye.